don't do Halloween anymore, man. My daughter's at the age now where I don't think she really cares.
Well, that's good. Cause...
yeah, and you know, I don't live anywhere where people have to come by. It's never an issue.
As an ex-obese person, I'm super strict on the kids and them eating that sort of thing, like candy and especially like sugary drinks. I'm super strict with them, so I absolutely hate Halloween. They get candy at school. They get freaking 3 or 4 trick or treats every year. It drives me absolutely insane.
So, do they actually like want it? Or do they seek out the sweet stuff, or have you instilled in them that it's not that important, like that they don't really care about it because they don't get it that much? Or is it something where it's like a big treat when Dad finally lets them get the candy?
Well, you know, it's interesting. My son never really did like sweets all that much. He's sort of starting to get into them now. He's 5 years old, but he would never eat them for years and years. He would always rather have like Doritos or something, or like cheeseburgers, you know.
Really?
But my daughter, yeah, she goes buck wild. Here's what I tell her. I tell her, look, you can have all the candy you want tonight. You know, this is Halloween, right? After tonight, it's gone. I throw every bit of it away, or, you know, give it away.
Yeah, because it's not the gorging on sweets that's the problem. It's the making it a habit night after night that's the problem.
Right. Every day.
It's the every day. If you're going to do it once, your birthday, eat all the cake you want.
Candy, let's be honest, your candy's not, like, expensive. It's pretty cheap. I mean, kids can have as much candy as they want basically all the time if you let them. You know?
Sure.
And you get a lot of sugar for $1.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I got so fortunate. I never was a big soda drinker, but my daughter, I always made, like, soda in particular is the one thing. It was always available to her, and she just never, to this day, doesn't really care for it. Like, every once in a while she'll have one, but 99% of the time she just wants to drink water.
That's so strange to me.
And I
love soda, man.
Just incredibly lucky. She just never acquired a taste for it. She barely drinks milk, barely drinks orange juice. Just water. That's all she wants.
I told her I did that keto diet for like 2 solid years, like strict keto for like 2 years, and I was still having cavities. So I determined that it was probably the acid in the diet soda that I was drinking. I couldn't really think of anything else that would be doing it, like with almost no carbs in the diet, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But man, I love it. I can't give it up.
Did you remember to brush your teeth for those 2 years?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's been proven that, you know, dentists tell you to brush your teeth because they know it doesn't help. That, you know, they want to stay in business. So tomorrow, the Kyle Rittenhouse trial starts. I did want to touch on this. The New York Times just released a big, one of their visual investigation series pieces on it.
Yeehaw! Fingers crossed. Put your bets in.
Well, we'll get to that. But so he has been out on bail. Apparently, Mike Lindell and some other right wingers bailed him out. $2 million. Must be nice. I never got no pillow money when I was locked up.
Where were you at? I mean, a little bit. I can't say I didn't get that pillow money. You know.
So he has pled not guilty to all charges. He's facing 2 counts of homicide and 1 count of attempted homicide, among a bevy of other misdemeanors and felonies.
Yeah, we're gonna place bets on how it's going to go. What the verdict's going to be? I
mean, I don't see any possible way he gets convicted, really, of most of it. He won't get the homicide charges.
Yeah.
Well, for one, the judge forbade the prosecution from calling the victims victims. So the prosecution can't say the victims of Rittenhouse. They have to, but they are allowed to say looters, arsonists, or rioters if they can provide evidence of such. Now, to be fair to this judge, apparently this is an ongoing practice of his, but, I mean, it doesn't bode well for the trial.
Yeah, I don't know. These things, they always sound they sound bad to the layman, you or I listening to it, but I'm sure, I would hope that there's some sound judicial reasoning behind, you know, controlling the language that's used. You don't want to, if you call somebody a victim, I mean, you are inherently biasing the jury is, okay, well, if these are victims and that's a perpetrator, there's
but not looter or arsonist or rioter. I mean, they have to give evidence of such, but still, they don't have to like prove that they were arsonists. They just have to give evidence. And they'll probably lean heavily into that since that's an advantage they have as the defense attorneys.
Sure.
We've got some big name defense attorneys. This is one of the largest cases in the country right now.
I don't know. We were talking
Rudy
about
Giuliani, maybe.
Hopefully. We need that guy back in the public eye. These things are always, I don't know how much you wanted to get into it, but I was just thinking over the week about the Ahmaud Arbery case.
Yeah.
And some of these other cases, and actually I just randomly watched the South Park episode about George Zimmerman. And they're always, this is why I like laws to be very specific to where there's no subjectivity into it. Because I feel like in a lot of these cases, as the laws are written, they were like this is the margin. They were technically in self-defense, even though they were initiating the confrontation that started the whole deal. But like the Ahmaud Arbery thing, like the guys who are driving down the road, they're allowed to drive down the road. They're allowed to stop the truck. They're allowed to get out of the truck with a shotgun. And then my understanding, tell me if I'm wrong, but then Ahmaud run over towards them because he saw the guy getting out with the shotgun. And I guess that, like, legally, he would be the one confronting them, even though on a moral basis, there's no quibbles about it. They are definitely responsible. They are the ones that really initiated this. But from a strictly legalistic perspective, I don't know how you cut that. How do you slice that and say, well, I mean, they were really the ones instigating it, even though he was the one that directly confronted them first. And this is the same thing with the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman, obviously morally culpable for his killing, but apparently Trayvon did go after him, but he went after him for good reason. I would have done the same thing at that age in that situation. And I guess the same thing with Rittenhouse, The guys did kind of come after him and try to wrestle the gun away, but I don't know.
Did you watch the New York Times visual investigation piece on it? It's
no,
really
I didn't.
Good. It's super short. You should check it out after the show. But so on the Ahmaud Arbery case, he was the guy filming. It's unclear from the video, but the guy actually filming him is chasing him, and they basically have him surrounded on both sides. So he runs around the pickup truck and runs toward the guy holding a shotgun at him. At which point we can see his T-shirt through the front windshield, but we can't hear any words being exchanged, or we can't see exactly what goes on there. But he ran. He ran around to the front of the truck. Now, that is when the first shot is fired, that we see off when it's obscured. So, did he run directly at the guy because the guy was holding a shotgun at him? Or did the guy have the shotgun at him waiting for him and blow him away? It's kind of unclear there.
I guess that's what it would come down to. I mean, if the guy got out and pointed the shotgun at him, well, then he's the one initiating the confrontation. Whereas if the guy got out...
If he's standing in his way, though, I mean...
I've got no issue with calling these guys morally culpable, but from a legalistic perspective, I don't know, and I think there were all those little details of what happened when the truck door was open, the direction the barrel of the gun was pointing, like all those are if I'm the judge and I'm making a judicial decision, that's what I need to know, and that's what everything's going to kind of hinge on. What was said, what were the words that were spoken at that point in time?
What I would say is I don't think you can lay all the blame on Ahmaud Arbery for not. I mean, to make it super clear, he would have to turn around and run away and then be shot in the back, which isn't what happened. You can't lay all the blame on him because he didn't do that. I mean, would anybody do that?
No,
You're surrounded. People are running you down in a pickup truck. He's got the shotgun. Do you go after the guy with the shotgun, or do you run away and turn your back to him?
I don't give him any blame whatsoever in that situation. I mean, I don't know what the hell you do in that situation. But I'm just saying, judging from a legalistic perspective, they're going to make a case. They're going to make a case that he attacked them in public, that they were allowed to be there, they were allowed to be armed there, and this guy come at them in a threatening manner.
I think they'll get charged because in that case, I think it's a little different than this case.
Yeah.
In this case, it's more a question of how much guilt do you give to Rittenhouse for being in that situation. Like, he deserves, in my opinion, some blame for placing himself in that situation and with a rifle, and whether or not he had intent to kill that night. You definitely have to give him some blame. Now, how much blame, that's up to the jury to determine.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to guess, I'd say he probably gets both homicide charges dropped. And I'll tell you exactly what happens. There is a shot fired. There was an altercation with this one gentleman earlier in the day, and these white supremacist guys. And later in the day, this guy starts chasing Kyle Rittenhouse, starts chasing him, and a shot's fired. It's not clear who fired the shot, though. It wasn't Rittenhouse. It was somebody in the vicinity. But Rittenhouse didn't know. He thought maybe he was being fired upon. And then he threw a plastic bag at him. You saw all that. He threw, basically, this is the same guy who threw a plastic bag at him, and then he fired on him, shot and killed him. And then later on, he was recognized by somebody who also was armed, a BLM protester, who decided to try and take Rittenhouse out because, at this point, people knew that he had shot and killed this guy down the street. And it just so happened that, the guy grabbed Rittenhouse's gun. Rittenhouse was able to get a shot off, hit him in the chest. That guy survived, and then the next guy he shot and killed that came after him. And then he walked by the police and with his hands up. Remember that scene?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they let him go. They let him go home and everything. And this kid's not even from Wisconsin. He's from Illinois.
Yeah.
Here, I want to play a little bit of this real quick.
We're running medical. We're going in and we're getting pictures.
And what about, are you from the area?
I am from the area.
What brought you out here tonight? You just wanted to provide medical attention?
He's not from the area. He lied here.
People that need it. Somebody's injured. Like, you get hurt, I'm grabbing you.
Have you encountered any issues yet thus far with law enforcement or anything like that?
Yeah, we were trying to film it instead of fire at the church. So we went to the church and we de-escalated the situation, telling them they need to leave or they will be detained and arrested.
This church right over here.
And we stopped the fire out all the way down at the school.
Wow.
So behind him, in this building, which was damaged previously in the riot, there are people on the roof of this building, other sort of vigilantes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would have been different if the police had to try to stop them from setting the fire?
I feel like there would be a lot more casualties and a lot more people injured. So I think the police are fine where they're at. And I'm sure the medical, because EMS is not coming in. They are not coming in.
Yeah.
So us citizens, we need to watch out with each other. Me and him are out here running and seeing if people need medical attention.
But speaking of which, we need to go check to see if somebody got hurt again.
All right.
Understood.
This is the former city councilman that had posted on Facebook for all true patriots, quote-unquote patriots, to come support whatever businesses.
Yeah.
And they asked him, were businesses asking you to come out here? And he was like, no businesses directly asked me, And we all know what patriots means. I mean, come on.
Yeah. That's
Here, this is where it's kind of hard to hear what he says here. This is where he gets recognized. You were just the ones telling him to get off the car. He had a gun drawn on these other individuals, and this guy in yellow here is recognizing him from an altercation prior.
so crazy.
He's full of shit, dude. A medic? He came in to be a medic? Why did he bring a fucking AR-15 to be a medic?
Yeah, I don't know.
And they have him in several photographs throwing up the OK symbol. Remember that one? It's like a white power thing.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Once could be an accident, but like 3 different shots they had. And the true patriots, I mean...
The true patriots is a dead giveaway, for sure. That's hard right wingers. I don't know, man. This one... There's so much to parse here. I don't think... Okay, so the LA riots in the early 90s, when those happened, I'm sure you remember or were aware that there were a bunch of businesses that were attacked, and this kind of same thing happened then, where the business owners got on top. They were armed with weapons to fight people off, and it's just that this whole thing has become so political. It's like, if you say, hey, there's a possibility for violence. There's going to be protests that are possibly going to be violent, and I want to go there to actually protect businesses. I think you're probably doing something that's going to put yourself in an opportunity to get in trouble, but like I would support that right. But there's so much other crap that's just been folded in with this whole thing. It's so just terribly partisan, where it's one group and they're not there just to help. They're there for very specific political aims. They're counter protesters. They're not
exactly. They're there to start shit.
Yeah, they're there to start shit. They're there to fuck with the other protesters. They're not there to protect businesses. And certainly this Rittenhouse guy, hey, if you want to protect business, get up on the roof with everybody else. Make yourself safe. Just yell at people. And why do you got a fucking AR, man? Get some, tear gas or whatever. Just something non-lethal. You don't need that.
Well, you see who he's hanging out with. He's hanging out with these
yeah, of course.
Boogaloo. What do they call them? Boogaloo boys? What are they called?
Boogaloo boys.
Yeah, that's what some of these guys are. I don't know what that is, but I guess it's some sort of militia thing.
Yeah, something like that. I just feel sorry for the kid more than anything. He's off. He's probably just grown up in that circle where all that stuff makes sense.
He killed somebody, dude. He killed 2 people.
Yeah. Yeah,
you can sit there and watch the guy's brains bleed out, dude. It's horrific.
Yeah. Yeah.
For what reason? To protect fucking property? Give me a break. You don't have a right to defend your fucking business militarily. That's what the police are for, dude. That's vigilantism.
Yeah. I mean, James, we can have how many conversations have we had about how the police are completely unreliable and untrustable? I mean, I buy into that myself. Yeah, I don't fucking trust the police. I don't think they're going to do anything to help me. I don't trust them one damn bit. And I think that whenever they show up, it often gets fucking worse.
They were high-fiving Rittenhouse. They were on his, need some water, bud? Out there shooting blacks, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the hottest trend sweeping Twitter right now. Hashtag Fauci lied, dogs died, or hashtag Fauci tortures puppies. We're both trending on Twitter. The headline is Dr. Fauci exposed for animal cruelty after photos emerge of him abusing beagle puppies.
Yeah. I got sucked into this for a bit. I think I caught the first initial wave of this story when it was going out, and bought completely into it and got pretty upset at the whole thing. And I guess I read later on that it seemed to be a little bit more complicated than what it was initially made out to be, and it doesn't appear, well, certainly the photos, well, I guess you've probably got some footage, don't you?
Yeah, we can look at the photo. This was the original photo.
That went out with the original story, yeah.
Right, but there was no context at the time because nobody knows about this shit, This is all think tanks type happenings.
Mm-hmm.
So this photo went around with the headline that this was Fauci behind this. They have 2 beagle puppies with their heads in these like square net sort of cages, and I guess they're filled with like sandflies or some type of parasite that they're doing.
Yeah,
they're doing research on here.
Yeah, I think the initial story is.
So you saw this and you thought this was like you were getting pissed off at Fauci, basically.
I was just upset. The story was that they would sedate these dogs, put their heads in these mesh cages, and that they put them out in the desert for like 9 days for these sand flies to collect in the mesh bags that would basically eat the dogs alive, and then they'd have to be, if they weren't already dead, they would be killed afterwards.
You're conflating 2 of the different experiments here. So this first experiment... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So that was the original story. There was this conflation, so that these two experiments were the same experiment and that Fauci was funding it. And it would show this photo in the original story was saying that this was the photo of the experiment that Fauci had authorized funding for in Tunisia. Right. And it was very convoluted. Then, like, as the week progressed, people started kind of separating it out and clarifying it a bit more.
There were 3 blog posts by this activist group, the White Coat Waste Project, which is supposed to be an alliance of liberal and conservative animal rights activists. Mm-hmm. Not exactly what it is, but that's what they claim it is. And yeah, like you said, this first story here this didn't have anything to do with the desert. This is in Tunisia, but they are testing tropical diseases, so it turns out that the NIAID did not even fund this project. That was a misprint and a mistake. They have since retracted. But, they do fund certain Beagle studies, and there's this other one that was posted about by the White Coat Waste Project called the Georgia Study. There were 28 Beagle puppies involved, and they were studying disease-carrying mosquito infections. And there was a third story involving Beagle puppies, SRI International, with 44 Beagle puppies and studying treatment of AIDS. And this was not even linked to Fauci. So really only the second one was even indirectly linked to Fauci. Mm-hmm. And this is fake news, right? This is the same shit that they're accusing the liberals of doing. This is fucking fake news, dude. They're just making shit up at this point.
Sure. Yeah, they make this. They kind of draw this circuitous path from Fauci to something that people are going to, initially respond very negatively to, and that's enough for most people. They don't care to actually hear the details or to even know if it's true, if he is connected to it.
Here is the brains behind the White Coat Waste Project. That's hard to say. White Coat Waste Project. Anthony Bellotti. And here is his Facebook feed. You can tell how this stuff spreads on Facebook, dude. Look at these memes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this whole story.
Headline. Here's a Breitbart headline. Breitbart. Fauci's NIH funded hundreds of ticks sucking on puppies alive.
Yeah. This whole
sad-looking
story
puppy.
Made for Facebook.
Hashtag Beaglesgate. Look at this guy's Facebook page, dude. And he's running this project, and look at his page. It's just covered in Fauci memes. This is in Fauci's labs. No one can hear him bark. It's funny, dude. But it's like people take this seriously.
This is a story
sad-looking Beagle puppy
made for Facebook. This is exactly what every grandma and great aunt wants to share on her feed at 9 a.m. as she's drinking coffee.
The first thing I'll say is, if Jan 6th had happened like it was intended, would Fauci still be alive? Or would he be one of the guys with his heads on a pike?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's
first up on the chopping block,
Yeah, he's
at this point
certainly top tier of public enemies, right behind Biden, Harris, probably Pelosi,
AOC,
Mike Pence.
Yeah.
Mike Pence was in a bit of shit that day.
Anybody who disagrees, really.
Anybody that publicly doesn't go along with whatever shit Trump made up that week.
There's so many of these.
Yeah, the Abbey Road.
Funding Wuhan. There's 2 buttons.
I love it.
It's got Fauci with the swipe and the sweat, and then it's 2 buttons: funding Wuhan or killing puppies. Like, it's funny, but it's not meant to be funny. I don't think. Here it is. It's a bunch of Faucis walking across the street with like beagles on a leash and a bunch of money bags. This is the state of politics, folks.
This is what it comes down to. This is
Facebook memes.
Facebook memes.
Okay, So yeah, this is part of the right-wing. I just wanted to point out that this is part of this right-wing project to basically try to rally support for getting the vote out for the midterms. This is the same. This is the school board thing. It's basically right-wing populism, aka fascism. It's all the same thing. Science denialism.
It's like pop cultural issues. 15, 20 years ago, you would bring up gay rights or
this isn't even cultural. This is just Yeah, this is just pop culture.
It's a pop culture war. It's the old stuff's tired. We need new stuff. We need this guy's killing puppies with your tax dollars. He's the most like they're making basically caricatures. These are like Bond villains. They're like comically evil.
This is Humane Society from 2019, so 2 years ago. As we know, beagles are commonly used in the medical field for a variety of reasons.
I did not know this.
This is Paradox Therapeutics Study. This is from the Humane Society, like I said, 2019, undercover investigation.
Oh.
Harvey is one of 60,000 dogs used in laboratories each year.
I guarantee they don't give them names.
I'm not a dog person, but there's a sad-looking beagle. There's another sad-looking beagle.
Oh my gosh.
They force feed them in some of these experiments. They're just showing that practice. The gavage practice. Then they're showing a beagle now with a big slice down the side of him. They're doing experiments, surgical experiments on, I guess. Implanted with devices, it says. He's got a bunch of cuts on him, holy shit. Tests aren't necessary. Yeah, so this is an ongoing thing. Like, this is... Beagles are used. I mean... They're used, in fact, they are the most common breed of dog used in experiments. Not because they're the best model for human disease. Rather, beagles are convenient to use because they are docile and small, allowing for more animals to be housed and cared for using less space and money.
Ugh.
So that's why they use beagles. They're trusting.
Let's get the cutest, most trusting, sweetest dog. Sweetest
Never
puppy.
suspect a thing.
Jesus Christ.
Humans are monsters, aren't they?
They really are. So yeah,
So
I
this
didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know that. I'm sure that they use dogs somewhere, but I didn't know that like they had a specific breed until earlier this week when I was reading about the story. I mean, it makes sense from a like just a nuts and bolts look at it. Yeah, we need small dogs that are going to.
Yeah, you don't want fucking pit bulls you have to deal with.
Something that's going to fight back. Yeah,
Dobermans or something. So this is sort of like the trolley problem, right? How many beagles would you kill to save one human life? I wanted to pose some questions to you here, Tony.
Uh-oh.
How many beagles would you kill to save one human life?
Which human?
Your daughter.
How cute are the beagles?
How many chimpanzees would you kill to save one human life?
Oh, I would. First off, for my daughter, I'd strangle every beagle alive with my bare hands.
Unlimited beagles.
Yeah, if it's some other kids, like maybe 3.
3 to 1.
Yeah,
they are cute.
For other people's kids that I don't know, and that actually goes down if they're in another country. If they're in one of Trump shithole countries, then it's like a 1-to-1 ratio.
Maybe
it's a coin toss. Maybe
beagle's cuter, ain't it?
All right.
So yeah, this is the whole thing: deontological versus consequentialism. Like, do you care about the outcome, or do you care about the values that you hold? Like, is it more valuable to you to protect the life of a beagle, or are you only worried about the results? Like, the ends justify the means, basically, is what consequentialism says.
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I kind of follow along. I guess a little bit on both sides of that argument. Like, I mean, the results are important, and if you put animals on a continuum of their capability of human suffering, it seems by any reasonable measure, humans have more capability for suffering and happiness than we do. It's not just that the other animals aren't like us; it's that they don't they don't have the same amount of consciousness and sentience that we have to experience the happiness. So, yeah, I don't.
Tough question.
It really is.
Society as it is right now, we have said so far basically that we're looking at consequentialism primarily. Everybody's fall somewhere in the middle, but in terms of policy, we're not super interested with the lives of animals in particular. Like, even chimpanzees are used because they're pretty good vectors for experimentation, and they have pretty high levels of sentience.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the question with all this stuff is, what kind of society are we going to be? If you take consequentialism to its logical end, I mean, what kind of society do you end up creating to maximize the health and well-being and human flourishing? Yeah, flourishing of humans. Do we become just complete monsters and create these giant factories full of animals that we just torture in every cruel and possible way because we may get some medical information out of it? And
well, we do that already.
Just for
the sake of food. I mean,
to a certain extent, yeah. I don't think they're tortured. They're not tortured for years on end like these animals are, and done, given unnecessarily these unnecessary, incredibly painful experiments on them. I guess the factory farms, they're pretty bad for the most part, but that's not necessary. That's just done for profit, really.
Yeah.
Whereas the experiments on dogs and chimpanzees and other animals, I mean, they are necessary. It's not just a profit thing with them.
You think it is necessary then?
I think it's necessary. Yeah, sure.
Just for the sake of science, or for
because I mean, like I was saying earlier, for the sake of the suffering that can be it is necessary to decrease the total amount of suffering experienced by sentient beings on this planet. And a great deal of suffering, the potential for suffering between a human and a beagle is very lopsided. So if you've got a few beagles that need to suffer intensely for them, that's nothing compared to what the human race. I'm not getting my point across very well, but
I understand what you're saying, and I pretty much agree with you. Like the whole point of science is to keep progressing it to a point to where we can end all suffering, right?
Yeah, ideally,
we'd love to end aging and suffering of all, and in order to do that, you have to torture a few beagle puppies along the way, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but maybe Fauci's just evil and he just does it for the giggles.
That's probably what it is. He's probably just evil and he just likes to, you got to get some. He's 80-something years old. The Viagra's just not working anymore. You got to do something to get you hard.
Oh God, that's messed up, man. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are interested in nootropics, check out my website. We are still running free shipping through the fall. Time is almost up, though, guys. If you have been thinking about trying nootropics, try them now. Go to my website, metamaxperformance.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shire Hemp Farms, your #1 source for CBD and Delta 8 products, along with other ethnobotanicals, ginseng, yellow root. Come check us out. We've got great prices on all our products. We have a new podcast discount code. This is ESPOD Winter. Winter's coming. Get your Delta 8. Stay home on a cold day and come check us out. ShireHempFarms.com.
I wanted to do something a little fun for Halloween, so let's do a tier list. This is horror villains. And these are ranked according to how well you could beat them in a fight. So, C rank, my daughter could take it. If my daughter could whoop this particular villain, it goes in this category here, the C category. Basic melee weapons or handguns might work. This is the next category. So if you could fight it, maybe with like a bow staff or like nunchucks or even like a pistol, I think it should go in this column, this row. And then we have, if you had access to all the weapons on the planet, could you take this thing? All the weapons. So nuclear weapons, I guess tanks. And then scientists would eventually find a way to stop it before it killed all the humans on the planet. And then the top tier, the S tier, get out the bucket list.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of puppies to figure out how to beat Tim Curry.
So I would say one-on-one, but the alien has his technology. So not, a bunch of aliens. Oh, I'm very scared of aliens, so obviously there's a lot of aliens in here. Sorry about that, folks.
All right, so the fire in the sky alien.
Him, but with his technology.
With his technology. Okay, so in the movie, aside from like wearing very basic suits, it didn't seem to have any armor, weapons attached to them. I mean, those things seem really frail.
Well, the humans they get the humans to pass out somehow. That's what I'd worry about. You wake up under the sheet and.
But okay, so is he in his craft?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, in this scenario, he's in his craft. Yeah, so
Now, in the movie, they do kind of beat up the aliens a little bit, and they get out of the craft. So
those things are frail. My daughter could beat up if one of them aliens walked in here right now. I would hands down put my money on my daughter. She's 14.
Really? Okay.
Oh, she's like
my daughter's only 7. She couldn't. She'd be scared shitless. So
my daughter's 14 and like 5'10". She'll be good to go.
She's 5'10" already. Dang, man.
Yeah, 5'9", 5'10". She's tall.
Oh crap!
Tall
Holy
girl.
cow!
Yeah.
Ghostface Killer. Now this is one I didn't really find too scary. I guess I was too old for it, but it's just a human, right, with a knife.
I've never seen it. I don't know.
Really?
Oh no, that's the Scream dude, right?
Scream,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, basic melee weapons.
Yeah, nunchucks or like even a baseball bat.
Yeah, I'd fuck that dude up, no problem.
Hannibal Lecter. This is an interesting one.
Ooh. Yeah.
He delights in the pain. You could hurt him, but I don't think you would kill him. He's very conniving too. Anthony Hopkins.
That's the thing. He would outsmart. He's one of them where I don't know how many weapons.
He never got captured. He's still on the loose to this day.
He's not going to put himself in a situation where he has to go up against your weapons. I mean, that's
sure.
The problem with him. If you've got I got a tank, okay, well, he's just going to hide until I don't have a tank, until it runs out of gas.
So I think scientists would eventually find a way to stop him, though.
Yeah, you would need other very, very intelligent people to strangle puppies until they figured out how to kill Hannibal Lecter.
Kathy Bates from Misery. Just a human, but very conniving. Again, sort of like Hannibal Lecter. Sort of the female Hannibal Lecter here.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I'm going to say the basic melee.
Basic melee.
Yeah, it's not special.
I think you're not giving her enough credit, but we'll go with that. All right, basic melee weapons or handguns might work on Kathy Bates.
Okay.
All right. How about Jack from The Shining?
Huh. Let's see. Okay.
Here's Johnny.
He's definitely insane.
Relentless.
He's relentless. He seems to be possessed by some sort of otherworldly. If I remember from the movie correctly, there's some sort of spirit or otherworldly force.
Ghosts, man.
That had taken over his mind to some extent. You get the supernatural involved, it can get a little dicey. We'll say you could take him out, but you'd have to have access to
all the weapons.
All the weapons, a nice arsenal.
The ghost busters like gear you would need.
Mm-hmm.
Something. How about the Candy Man? There's a new version of this one out today. I haven't seen yet, but very scary for people who watched this back in the day. I don't know if I got into it too much, but
yeah,
I've seen it, but it's been a while.
Part of it as a kid. I'm really thinking, where's the? I think one Kyle Rittenhouse could take out Candyman.
Interesting. All right,
he's a black man. He's a black guy, right?
Yeah, he's gonna be the first one to die in any situation.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Next up is Chucky. Not the new Chucky. This is the original Chucky that's powered by Haitian voodoo.
Haitian voodoo.
Not the AI Chucky, which is good also.
You don't want to mess with the Haitian voodoo. I'm thinking
Kalima. Oh no, that was Indiana Jones.
That was Indiana Jones. And I think that was India, not Haiti. Oh man, this is
a tough one because he comes back to life too.
I feel like this would be a scientific thing. Like you could shoot him, blow him up, catch him on fire, and he's just going to come back.
I agree.
To really deal with him, you're going to have to put science to work. Get some
I agree
lab
with that
coats
completely.
Yeah.
Scientists would eventually find a way to stop him, but it would be tough. It would require a multilateral commitment from several countries, I think.
Easily.
All right, maybe the toughest one of all, the Tim Curry Pennywise. This is the first Pennywise.
So, he's some sort of like demon, or is he an alien? I forget. I've seen the old one. I want to say he's like a demon.
Sort of like an alien. Because he's
like,
he's an alien. I don't want to spoil the ending for people who haven't seen it, but he's sort of like he's basically an alien, sure.
Okay.
Or some sort of ancient demon, who knows? Sort of the same
some
thing.
sort of, he's like an ancient thing that comes back every 200 years, something along those lines.
Right. He's a Stephen King villain.
You're too old to stop me. You're all too old.
No, quite Cameron. If you see...
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Scene cracks me up so much. Get out the bucket list. Too much power, dude. Too powerful.
I was going to say he's right on the border between bucket list and scientist.
I don't think scientists can do anything about that. I mean, he'd just be doing that in the background. Ha 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 ha.
If the scientists come after him, he'll just do the time warp again. And then, what are you going to do then?
All right. Freddy Krueger. Probably the scariest one when I was a kid. I hated the thought of not being able to sleep. Sleep deprivation is the worst.
This is a really easy one, I feel like. It's get out the bucket list. Like,
yeah, I think you're right, dude.
What are you going to do?
Scientists have to sleep eventually too. I mean,
everybody does.
Trust, we've all pushed it to the limit to see how long we can go without sleeping. But
I know some people that are very afraid of Freddy Krueger, but eventually they had to go see him. So
yeah, Isaac from Children of the Corn. This was a especially creepy casting of this kid. He was a full-grown adult at the time, but he has some sort of disease that makes him look like a kid, so that's why he's so creepy in the movie. He's really scary, but I don't know how dangerous. He does kill several people, and he has God on his side. That's got to count for something.
I'd say it counts for quite a bit.
Yeah.
I've never seen that movie, so I couldn't quite say. I'll defer to your best judgment, James.
I think if you had access to all the weapons, you could take him. Like rocket launchers and stuff would probably work on Isaac, I believe. Okay, Jason. Tough call here because
he's another one, and there's so many iterations of these characters that it can be difficult. True. Like you going after the early Jasons or like the early '90s Jasons or the more recent Jasons. I mean, if we go for the OG Jason.
Well, that's what I was thinking, before they got silly.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it might be another scientist thing, like, because you can kill him as much as you want with the weapons, but
you have to stop him. You can't kill him. You have to stop him somehow, contain him. That's what they did in Jason X, right? Didn't they freeze him or something like that?
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. You'd have to not only stop him, but then you'd have to have the scientist.
If you kill him, he goes to hell. So he just comes back, If you kill him, he just goes to hell. So you have to contain him, right? You need scientists for that. How about Leatherface?
Leatherface. I don't know. I think Leatherface is kind of a bitch. I could fuck him.
He doesn't run that fast. He just runs in a scary way,
Yeah, he's got a chainsaw.
He's dragging around a heavy-ass chainsaw. I mean...
you give me a... Here's the thing. I know when I'm going against these guys that I don't shoot them once and then walk away because I assume that they're dead.
Wipe your brow and start celebrating.
Oh, I hit him in the leg. I guess it's all over now.
I'm glad you.
No. Leatherface comes at me. I got a shotgun. I'm gonna unload it, reload it, unload it again, and just he's gonna be a red splatter on the ground.
Basic melee weapons, it sounds like, for him, I think.
Yeah, he's not that big a deal.
Scary, but not particularly dangerous. How about the Leprechaun? This is a mythical creature come to life very powerful in his own way,
Yeah.
in a humorous way.
He's got some magic too, which is it can be scary. It doesn't seem like super intense magic, but it's super powerful magic, but it is magic nonetheless. I don't know. I feel maybe
scientists. Maybe
scientists.
Scientists or get out the bucket list. I don't know. I don't think the weapons are doing much to him, but I think scientists maybe could figure something out with the tree and all that.
I think so. Yeah, so we'll go scientist on this one.
Okay, Mike Myers. I didn't watch these too much. I'm not sure what his powers are. I mean, I know he kills people,
So I've watched a lot of them. I just watched the most recent one that came out a week or two ago. It seems like it's. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And with Michael, Michael. He's basically a spirit that he can move from one body to another. So.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
If you kill him, you can fuck them all up, and he's just gonna kind of move to somebody else's body, and then Michael Myers continues. So he's a bucket lister. He's a bucket lister because you can't.
Wow. I guess I need to watch these movies. I guess I didn't know what I'm missing.
Yeah, I mean they kill him every movie, and sometimes that body comes back, sometimes another one comes back, but he's always there.
Okay, I got Jaws here. Well, I don't know where to do with Jaws. I don't think my daughter could take Jaws necessarily. Maybe if she had a harpoon gun. Again, I haven't seen this too much. I have seen it, but it's been many years. Scary at the time. Doesn't really hold up, though.
Well, first off, I disagree with it. The original Jaws, really? I think, holds up fantastic. I think it's a just so well done movie. It's really frightening. It's a different type of frightening. It's not a monster, but but it is just a shark. It is just a shark. It's a foul-natured shark. I think you need some big weapons, but as long as you've got weapons, you can take care of them.
If you had enough weapons, though, you could manage.
If you got enough weapons, you got the right explosives, you can deal with them.
All right, Jigsaw. This. Again, I'm not too familiar with. I have seen some of the movies, although there's many of them. I don't think he's supernatural, though, unless I'm misremembering.
I've seen the first 3 or 4, and he was not super. It's just a dude. It's just a dude. He's a very smart dude, though. He's basically he's kind of along the lines of Hannibal Lecter, really. It's just plots within plots within plots. Sets up these elaborate games and experiments for people to go through.
So if you wake up in the experiment, but you have all the weapons, I mean...
you're screwed. If you wake up in the experiment with all the weapons, you're not going to do anything because he's already thought of that. He's 3 steps ahead.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I guess scientist, maybe? Or bucket list?
I don't think bucket list because I think he could be taken out, but you would need some... Yeah, you need some really smart guys in the room to figure out how to outsmart old Jigsaw.
All right, the new Pennywise. I'm actually a pretty big fan of this movie. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I thought it was maybe better done than the original, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't as hokey.
Not as iconic, obviously. No Tim Curry, unfortunately.
I don't know. That guy, he has the smile down. That weird... I can't even do it right, but... I think it's the guy that plays Thor's brother, I want to say.
Huh, interesting.
Maybe I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong about that.
Good acting, for sure. Very good acting.
Yeah.
Would scientists... I think scientists would be able to defeat the creature. I'm not sure if you saw it to the end to see what the creature was and all that. But yeah. It's sort of a... Okay, I guess spoiler alert for it. It's basically a huge sort of alien-ish spider that comes out of this well down and deep in the earth. Periodically to eat people's fears to keep himself alive, like Freddy Krueger almost. And they kill it once and it comes back, so who knows if it's gone forever.
I don't know. I don't think the scientists would be able to do it. It's got hundreds, if not thousands of years of experience in dealing with humans and dealing with humans' worst fears and how to manipulate them and how to... I don't think anybody could take the new Pennywise.
That's true, because if you're fighting the new Pennywise, you're fighting your worst fear.
Yeah.
God, that's horrifying.
And essentially an immortal being, or close to immortal being, very long-lived being, with supernatural powers that knows your worst fears and how to capitalize on them.
I don't know what my worst fear is, but I would probably be scared shitless of it, whatever it is.
Yeah,
a lot of fears.
Alien.
An alien, yeah, some sort of alien, yeah.
Yeah, also a snake with snake fingers. Worst fear.
How about Predator? So you versus Predator. Basic melee weapons or handguns?
No, of course not.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not, especially not in the forest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that matters a lot. Like, what's the
setting?
What's the setting? Are you out
laser
there,
tag arena where you know where he can hide?
Yeah.
The cloaking, though, is going to make it tough. I think you need scientists. I don't think you can, even if you had all the weapons, he would just cloak invisible, dude. Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and he's also like exponentially more intelligent than the humans that he's going after. So I don't even know if the scientists would be able to take out Predator.
You think one Predator would take out all the humans, huh? On the whole planet? It's possible.
No, not all. Because, I mean, Arnold took him out, so...
we're talking Arnold in his younger days.
Yeah.
Arnold these days.
Arnold was an exceptional human being, so... I guess you have scientists, so you'd either have to have Arnold.
It's close, though, isn't it?
It is close. If you had multiple Predators or Predator in a spaceship, then you're just done. There's no questions about it.
Okay, A Quiet Place. This is a newer one. Remember this Alien? I'm not sure if you watch these sorts of movies.
Yes.
You have to be quiet, or they swarm you.
Yeah, this is the John Krasinski from The Office.
Yeah,
he was in it. Yeah.
And basically, its head sort of comes apart like an onion, and he has all these teeth. But he's very sensitive to hearing. He can hear your every move. You don't need all the weapons. You just need a hearing aid, apparently. But I don't know if I couldn't figure that out in time. It would take me out probably. I assume. Yeah. I think all the weapons, though. If you had all the weapons, just one of these things.
Yeah, a handful of people, eventually one of them's going to figure it out. And if he's got the right weapons, he'll be able to kill it with some
Sam Neill from Event Horizon. Maybe the best acting on the list, maybe. Well, that and Curry.
What was it? The famous Sam Neill from that movie. It's just a great gif I see on a lot of videos, but I feel like this is a bucket list one. I mean, because basically he's from hell, right? I mean, they find that's what the Event Horizon. It's a path to hell. So they go to hell, and these are okay. I'm
such a big fan of this movie, dude. Such a big fan of this movie.
Shout out to young Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, this is before The Matrix, right?
Oh yeah.
Where I've been, you don't want to go.
Oh my God. What happened to your eyes?
Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see.
Oh, that's so good.
He's just a dude right there, right? Like he wasn't taken over by the any demons or any supernatural spirits?
Well, it's sort of ambiguous. He's already been through the time, through the wormhole. So he already has hell in him. Whatever happens has already happened. It just takes time to accumulate enough sort of evil in his blood before he turns totally evil. Where we're going, we won't need eyes to see. What a great performance. That's bucket list. I mean...
You think it's bucket list? So, my take on it was going to be that that individual person Sam Neill in that movie wouldn't be that hard to kill, but the forces behind him, because the forces that were behind him, if they wanted to get you, they would just get somebody else or just send something else out. They just keep sending things after you. The individual things that they're sending wouldn't be that powerful. Mm-hmm. But they wouldn't need the individual thing to be that powerful because they just have an unlimited number of just, we'll get this person to send it.
It's almost like a Freddy Krueger scenario. He can make you see things, like, you know what I mean? He makes you see basically images of hell or just scary stuff.
I'll defer to your judgment on this one.
Yeah, that's bucket list. I mean, the scientists would be freaking out from all the visions. And plus the acting power alone is just, it's unmatched. How about the alien from Signs? So he has the sleep thing with his wrist, but other than that, I mean, pretty pathetic. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I feel...
Joaquin Phoenix defeats him with like a broomstick, right? Or something.
Talk about extraordinary acting powers. Joaquin Phoenix. I mean,
not in this movie though.
He's pretty good. He's
good.
But... Yeah, it's not Arthur Fleck Joker levels of acting, but yeah, you're right. Sure. Okay, so I'll say with this one, the average person that didn't have an unnatural fear of aliens would probably be able to take it out with some weapons. But me, I would just be so paralyzed with fear. Like, I got a window.
Oh, good. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, there's a window open right here, and I'm looking at it right now, waiting for an alien to be looking at it. Man, I get so terrified just thinking of them. They're just
some horror fan purist is going to see this and like be like, "There's too many aliens on this list, bro." I don't like them.
They are scary. Yeah. So. I don't know. I feel like a handguns and basic melee weapons, you know.
What about your daughter? Is your daughter scared of aliens? Because
no, she loves bringing up aliens because she knows how much they scare me. So she's kind of like she takes solace in aliens because she knows that it's going to be funny. That's what she associates her laughter over my fear with aliens. So I think she'd be fine. She could take it out.
See, a normal person could take it, just not us. We just don't like aliens.
Yeah.
How about the Blob? Classic alien here.
It's another one.
Consumes all biological life and grows.
This is one where it depends on at what point you catch it. You know, like. Do you catch it towards the end of the movie? Do you catch it at the beginning of the movie? When, you know, how big is the blob?
The size of you, let's say.
The size of me. I don't know.
You got it contained in pure gold, maybe. I don't know. Something non-reactive that has to be strong, too, because this thing is strong.
Yeah. So it'd probably be another scientist thing. It seems like because
we place a lot of faith in our scientists here, don't we? I don't think they could take the blob. Maybe it grows fairly slowly. I think they would nuke the continent.
I'm looking at it like, well, I don't think the blob. It doesn't matter really about the weapons that you're using. It's figuring out. Right. It's figuring out what it's feeding off of and how to keep it from feeding, and that's a job for scientists.
Not necessarily an intelligent alien. Yeah, you're right, I think. Containment strategy.
Containment, yeah.
Finally, we have the Xenomorph Alien, the classic alien from Alien.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely couldn't take it with a melee weapon. A handgun, probably not either. It's too fast, man. It's fast and sneaky. And if you shoot it, it gets its blood on you and burns you. It's acid blood, dude.
Yeah, you gotta watch
all the weapons.
You know,
I'm trying to think of what weapon would even be useful against it.
I feel like with the Xenomorph, you or I would have an issue with it. But if we had some special ops guys, you know, some
depends on the scenario.
SEAL Team 6,
not in the forest. Like, you know what I mean? Like the setting has a lot to do with. If you had, you know, I don't know, an Uzi or some automatic weapon in a wide open field and it just ran towards you, sure. But But if this thing was able to get cover and sneak around behind you, I mean, you wouldn't stand a chance with any sort of weapon, really.
Yeah. And this is another one, too. So I guess the Xenomorph from the first Alien movie was very different from the ones from the later ones. So the first one, it was just the one Xenomorph, and it was just so sneaky and so smart that it could just go through and just kill everybody. Whereas like later on, they were basically just like big dumb animals, and they just run at you, and they're killing like 20 of them each movie. So yeah, if we're going the first iteration of the Xenomorph, I don't know. Is it a bucket list?
No,
it's probably not a bucket list. You thinking all the weapons?
So. I'm thinking all the weapons because I'm thinking just me and him in the octagon. You
and him in the octagon. Okay,
if I had all the weapons, maybe a blowtorch.
You're in a school gymnasium that's completely closed off, and you've got access to any weapons you want.
Automatic 50 cal. I think
automatic 50 cal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Because those things fire fast. The rate of fire.
You would probably die in the process, but I think you could kill him.
Yeah, just be like a cloud of like poison hitting you.
Yeah. Yeah.
At 50 miles an hour. Because those things are fast.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. There it is, folks.
All right. I think I'm surprised that the two that I am most fearful of, scared of, like horrified to watch those movies, are the ones that my daughter could take.
That's funny because Signs did scare me too when I watched it initially. When that alien walks by the doorway, why is it so creepy?
The video,
it looks so creepy.
It's so scary when he looks in the TV and he sees the reflection of the alien behind him, just standing there. It's settled. I mean, that's it.
All right. Well, all
right, cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. MetamaxPerformance.com, ShowerHempFarms.com. James, nice talking to you. See you next week. Peace.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.